I got to shoot the U.S. women's national team game in February of this year. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So how much have you been like putting yourself like to get into these events? Like how much, or like the NCAA one, for instance, or like even like ECNL, or like for us, us being the Fire, like how much is you reaching out versus people reaching out to you? Because like for us, our owner was like, oh yeah, there's some photographer coming, and like he made it like sound like, not that you weren't like a professional, but he was like, oh yeah, some guy just emailed me, and I was like, all right. But then like I looked at your stuff and I was like, why are you here? Like you shot the MLS Eastern Conference Finals, but you're like with a M3 team. So like how, like, is it just part of the nature of you to like shoot anything and everything to help, like you said, like put fuel on the fire? Or like what is it about? Because a lot of, well, I don't know, right? Because I'm not a photographer, but I feel like if I had gotten to a certain point, like NCAA is like a thing, MLS is a thing, M3 is not really a thing, you know?
yeah. So I mean, like last fall, like I was just like, I like to explain it this way to people. Like I could just sit here and wait for opportunities to fall into my lap, and hope that
Which they would though.
well, yes and no. It's yes and no. But if I hadn't have done all of that legwork last fall and last winter, they wouldn't be coming now. Because
Nah, that's
nobody would
fair.
know me. I wouldn't have a portfolio. I wouldn't have like such a deep portfolio as what I have now. Um, like last fall, like a lot of the MLS stuff was me just reaching out to different like media companies and saying, hey, do you want this game shot? Do you want that game shot? I'd be willing to travel here, travel there. This is my schedule, whatever. And like with the MASL3 thing with your Fredericksburg Fire team, I think that I'd seen something about you guys on Instagram. Oh, we're having a thunderstorm here, the beach. Lovely. Just in time for the podcast.
Yeah, just in time.
Ambient noise.
God didn't want us to talk.
Yeah. But so like with your team, I saw something on Instagram and I was like, it's the middle of the winter. There aren't many sports going on. And I could either sit home and do nothing, or I could get a hold of this team. And if they need some photography, I have something to shoot and I have something to post, and it's something different. I'm not logging on to Instagram and seeing, MASL, any league photos just running rampant. No offense to MASL.
No, I
But
mean there weren't.
I'm
There
not seeing
weren't.
any of that run rampant through my newsfeed.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, this is something that like not a lot of sports photographers have access to, because the teams are so sporadically placed throughout the country. So I was like, this is something that can set me apart right now, because all the other photographers in my area are just kind of sitting at home twiddling their thumbs in the middle of February.
Yeah.
They might be shooting some basketball or whatever, but a lot of the ones that I follow are just posting like pictures of trees, and it's like, can't wait till summer and sports start back up. And
Pictures
it's
of
probably
trees.
really rude to say, but like I did the same thing. So like, I was going to
Yeah.
the zoo in January, hoping that I'd see a tiger or something come out. So I mean, that's but that's what sets me apart, I think, is that my drive and my work ethic is like, I'm not going to wait for somebody who's never heard of me to maybe hear about me and ask me to come shoot their game and hire me. I'm going to get a hold of somebody for it.
Yeah.
So
Also,
it was good. I thought it was a good endeavor. I wouldn't be on your podcast right now if I hadn't reached out to them.
that's true also, for sure.
But, then like nowadays we're in the middle of the summer, and 4 days before ECNL San Diego started, I had a club get a hold of me and say, hey, can we bring you out to San Diego with us to shoot our games? And I had just gotten back to my parents' house in New York, and I'd been there about 4 or 5 days. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'm really not doing anything. I was just going up there for a little like kind of summer vacation, but San Diego is great. And they just wanted me to shoot. They had 2 teams that went. and they just wanted their games covered. They didn't want anything else covered, just their two games. And they said, whatever you do in your free time is up to you. So I was like, well, I can go back to the hotel and sit, or I can walk around and find teams to shoot at ECNL. And I did, and it was a really good experience. I expanded my portfolio quite a bit, getting to shoot some teams out of different states. I had people walk up to me just randomly and say, you know, are you with a tournament? And I said, no, I'm just a freelance photographer. I'm here with a club. And, you know, they paid me right on the spot to come shoot their games that afternoon.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. But that's, you know, if I hadn't taken that initiative to get out there, then, you know, those opportunities wouldn't have come. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I think a lot of the people that I find that are in like, are you doing photography full time?
yes, yep.
So a lot of the people that are in like, whether it's like part time but could become full time soon, or like full time that aren't in like the 9 to 5 world. Like, I had Aisha on the podcast. She quit her job I think a year ago or something like that to do personal training full time. Like all the people that are doing that sort of thing, the drive and the work ethic that they all have to like it's nuts. Like for you, the travel schedule as well, like because you're based out of somewhere that's, I don't know, can I say city generally? Yeah, like out of Virginia Beach to drive up to Fredericksburg and then to drive up to a high school up in Loudoun County where I went, Briarwoods, and then out to San Diego, and then like up to, I don't know where, like you've been like anywhere and everywhere up to New York, right? For Syracuse. Like that's nuts. Like I don't mind traveling generally, but I think I might mind that much.
Let's put it this way. I've been to 13 different states in 2022.
Yeah, no, you're killing
So
it. Like you've been everywhere. Like every time I see a new shoot pop up or a new like something pop up on your thing, it's in a different place. And I'm like, Jesus, rich dude, like do you like traveling, bro? It's like it takes a lot out of you for sure.
it does.
Um,
I ended up getting TSA pre-check, which I highly recommend to anyone who travels like frequently,
yeah,
because you get to, it's just like cutting the line for a roller coaster. You just
yeah.
go to the left and you go past all the people who've been standing in line for an hour, and they grit their teeth at you and they give stare daggers at you, and you just kind of smile with your suitcase and walk on by because you're like, I get to cut the line.
Oh,
That was the best thing I ever did this year, was finally get TSA pre-check. And after, I think I'm like, I've definitely gotten the urge to fly out of my system after being grounded for like 2 years because of COVID,
yeah,
everything. You know, it was exciting at first at the beginning of this year to be able to fly and travel again, and do all that. But I think now, like, that little bit of like Christmas morning excitement is gone from it.
yeah,
I kind of dread leaving, but like once I'm gone and there, it's okay.
yeah.
But the travel is definitely, you know,
How
when I flew back from ECNL San Diego, I mean, I got off the plane, got in my car, and drove from DC all the way back to New York. That, like, right off of a 5.5 hour flight, I drove, you know, 6 hours home, well,
yeah,
home to there.
yeah.
And you know, got up the next 8 o'clock the next day, I was shooting something. So it's definitely grueling, but I also enjoy the flexibility that being my own boss creates. It was scary at first to be like, this is the only thing I'm going to do. I mean, I do other things as well, like I coach, and you know, I supplement my income that way as well. But you know, I give people who work like a regular 9 to 5 and quit that to do something else, and work for themselves, like a personal trainer or photographer or any kind of anything like that. I give them major props, because that's way scarier than me just coming out of, like, you know, the COVID era or whatever, of like unemployment and then going into photography. It wasn't that, you know,
Oh, okay.
that scary. But I could imagine quitting a 9 to 5 where you have stable income. Like, you know, for us, for creatives and people who do personal training and things like that, like it's scary to not have like a set income. Like I don't have a set yearly salary. My income is what my ambition and determination allows.